done? What came over me? Who am I? It was wonderful. I loved it.
When Forrest Gump premiered in 1994, few could have predicted the cultural and cinematic impact it would have. The film, directed by Robert Zemeckis and starring Tom Hanks in the titular role, became an instant classic, winning 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Hanks. However, Forrest Gump wasn't just a triumph for Tom Hanks, it also became a defining moment in Sally Field's already illustrious career. Field's role as Mrs. Gump, the mother of the film's iconic protagonist, was one that brought a unique blend of warmth, wisdom, and heartache, and it resonated deeply with audiences around the world. Yet despite the film's massive success, Field has recently opened up about her experience making Forrest Gump and the behind-the-scenes realities that even the most ardent fans may not know. Now, over 30 years after the release of Forrest Gump, Field reflects on the movie, the challenges she faced, and the lessons she learned. In a new interview and personal memoir, Field offers a candid perspective on her role, the impact of the film on her career, and how it shaped her understanding of success and fame. Sally Field, known for her versatility and skill, stepped into the role of Mrs. Gump during a time in her career when she had already built a significant body of work. Having already won 2 Oscars for her performances in Norma Rae, 1979, and Places in the Heart, 1984, Field was a respected actress in Hollywood, yet she was still unsure about the film's potential. The script was quirky, the premise unusual, and the central character, Forrest Gump, was unlike anything she had worked with before. Field has openly admitted that the project initially seemed uncertain, even though she had been drawn to it by the human element at its core. She described the experience of making the film as something akin to a box of chocolates. No one was really sure what kind of audience it was going to find. Despite these uncertainties, Field was committed to the role. "You never know if a piece is going to work," Field confessed in an interview shortly after the film's release. "When it began to sell all those tickets and get those reviews, I said, boy, that's terrific."
And ultimately, when you're drooling in a cup at the end of the day on the porch, to have had a full life, to have had a life that was filled with colors is ultimately what we want, and to be present.
What started as a small, potentially risky project blossomed into one of the most beloved films in cinema history. But Field's experience was not just about celebrating the film's success, it was also about learning to trust the process, even when the outcome seemed uncertain. Playing Mrs. Gump required Field to bring a level of humanity and depth to a character that could easily have been relegated to the background. As the loving mother of Forrest, a boy with extraordinary potential who was often misunderstood by society, Mrs. Gump is one of the central emotional anchors of the story. Her line, "Life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get," has become one of the most quoted movie lines of all time. However, what many don't realize is that the portrayal of Mrs. Gump was far from easy for Field. The emotional weight of the role was significant, especially as it required Field to balance the nurturing qualities of a mother with the understanding of her son's unique struggles. In many ways, Mrs. Gump acts as the emotional heart of the film, providing Forrest with the encouragement and love he needed throughout his life. At the time, Field was facing her own personal challenges, including navigating the pressures of being a well-known actress in Hollywood and the expectations that came with that. As a mother herself, Field was able to draw on her own experiences with motherhood to shape her portrayal of Mrs. Gump. She became deeply connected to the character's maternal instincts, and it showed in her performance. What was most striking, however, was how Field had to approach the film's pivotal moments with nuance. Mrs. Gump is not a perfect mother. She has her own flaws and mistakes. She also had to make hard choices for Forrest's future, such as when she decided to send him off to school despite knowing the challenges he would face. In the moments of vulnerability, Field's performance stood out as an example of understated brilliance. She didn't need to be the central figure in every scene. Her presence was felt in every frame, and it made a lasting impression on audiences. Despite the massive success of Forrest Gump, the making of the film wasn't without its hurdles. According to Field, the production process was grueling, with long hours and complex shooting schedules. Field described how the set was a mix of excitement and pressure, and there were moments when she questioned if the film would ever come together the way she hoped. One of the more surprising aspects of the film's production was the tension between Field and the film's director, Robert Zemeckis. Zemeckis, known for his meticulous filmmaking style, was deeply invested invested in bringing Forrest Gump to life, and there were times when the dynamic on set became intense. Field admitted that there were moments when the director's vision and her interpretation of the character didn't always align, yet Field credits Zemeckis with the ability to push her performance in new directions, even when it was difficult. Another challenge that Field faced during filming was her rapport with co-star Tom Hanks. While Hanks and Field had an undeniable chemistry that translated beautifully on screen, the two actors didn't always see eye to eye. Field explained that Hanks's approach to the role of Forrest was vastly different from her own, as he often relied on instinct rather than a fully mapped out character arc. This contrast in acting styles led to moments of friction, but also contributed to the depth and authenticity of their performances. Tom was always so comfortable on set, Field recalled. He was like a sponge, absorbing everything. Meanwhile, I had to work through every detail. It was a different kind of challenge. Looking back on her time making Forrest Gump, Field acknowledges that the film changed her career in ways she hadn't expected. At the time, she was well established as an actress, but her role in Forrest Gump marked a shift in her career trajectory. The success of the film introduced her to a new generation of audiences and solidified her place as one of Hollywood's most respected actresses. Beyond its commercial success, Forrest Gump also offered Field a deeper understanding of her own work as an actress. She reflected on how the film helped her grow both professionally and personally. It taught her the importance of being open to new experiences and the value of collaboration. I learned that sometimes the best work comes from places you don't expect, Field remarked. The whole experience with Forrest Gump was a lesson in trust. Trusting the director, trusting my fellow actors, and trusting myself. Forrest Gump is a film that continues to be revered by critics and audiences alike, largely due to its heartwarming story and memorable performances. The film's success not only contributed to Tom Hanks becoming one of the most iconic actors of his generation, but also solidified Sally Field's place as a master of her craft. Her portrayal of Mrs. Gump is often regarded as one of the most tender and heartfelt performances in film history. However, what many may not know is that Forrest Gump almost didn't happen the way we know it today. From casting challenges to on-set drama, the film's journey to success was filled with obstacles that tested the patience and determination of everyone involved. In the end, it was the passion and perseverance of its cast and crew that turned the film into a cinematic masterpiece. One of the most enduring aspects of Forrest Gump is its central message about life, love, and resilience. The film teaches audiences that life is unpredictable and that you must make the best of what you're given. Mrs. Gump's famous quote, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get," continues to resonate with people around the world, reminding us that uncertainty is a part of the human experience. For Field, the film was not just about a mother's love for her son, it was a metaphor for her own journey in Hollywood. She had faced her own uncertainties and challenges, but Forrest Gump proved that, no matter the obstacles, there is always hope for something better. The movie's enduring legacy is a testament to the resilience of its characters and the people who brought them to life. Sally Field's experience on Forrest Gump is a reminder of the power of determination and the unpredictable nature of filmmaking. Despite the early struggles and doubts, the film went on to become one of the most beloved films of all time, and Field's portrayal of Mrs. Gump remains one of her most iconic roles. Looking back, Field acknowledges the growth she experienced during the making of the film, both as an actress and as a person. The impact of Forrest Gump on her career cannot be overstated, and it continues to be a source of pride and reflection for Field. It remains a powerful example of how trust, collaboration, and resilience can lead to extraordinary success in the face of adversity. After 30 years, Field's honest reflection on the making of Forrest Gump is a reminder of the film's timeless appeal and its place in the hearts of audiences around the world. It also serves as a testament to her own incredible journey in Hollywood, one that continues to inspire both actors and fans alike. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for our next video.